my name is Christina Amandeo, and this is my presentation for the Module 1 project. I did just record a whole presentation, but I realized when I pulled the slideshow up that it didn't show my face during the presentation. So this is my second attempt. Hopefully this one goes better. So I am sharing my entire screen. Please excuse all of the open tabs. So let me go to the presentation. That is this slide here. So for my Module 1 review presentation, I decided to create a game for students. I thought it would be a little bit more fun and help students remember the material better than, say, just like a study guide. I know that during the Jeopardy game during class, I took down some more information that I didn't already have. So it was actually helpful, as was the practice test. And reviewing everything during this review game and getting the correct answers really helped me to remember some of the material that I didn't know or needed more work on. So I enjoyed making this game, and I'm going to try and make the slideshow larger so that way I can present. The last time when I did that, it did not keep the camera going. So I'm going to try and open the presentation. If it doesn't show my face, I'll show a couple slides just to try and show you how it would work, because obviously you can't see the effects on the slides unless I actually look at the whole presentation. So hopefully it will work, but if not, I'll just exit out of the slideshow and show it on the screen. So let me try and make that bigger now. All right, so it's still not showing, but I'll just go a couple of slides in and show you how it would look, and then I'll exit out so you can see my face again. So this is the Anatomy and Physiology Module 1 Unit Review game created by me, and I incorporated some rules. So my vision for this game is to have the classroom divided into 2 teams. Each of the teams is given a buzzer. If you don't have a buzzer, then you can just have them raise their hands. Have the students on each team line up single file at the front of the class in 2 lines. And then each student will be asked a review question, which is shown on the slide. When a student knows the answer, they will either buzz in or raise their hand. Whoever is first gets to try to answer the question. The student can consult with their team for the correct answer, but this may take extra time, so the other team might be able to buzz in. If the student is correct, then their team wins the points listed at the top right of each slide. If the student who buzzed in is incorrect, the other student may attempt to answer the question. If that student provides an incorrect answer also, neither team wins the points, and the correct answer would be then provided to the class by the teacher. Once a pair of students has had a turn, that student will move to the back of the line of students and wait for their next turn. The process would repeat until the end of the game, end of the questions, or until class time has run out, and then whichever team receives the most points wins. And then just an example of how the slide would look, and then I'm going to exit out so you can see me again. So this is the first question. So this is a multiple choice. I did do multiple choice, fill in the blank, and matching, and then also like free answer as well. So a variety of different kinds of questions, similar to what we would see on an actual test. So this question says, anatomy is the scientific study of blank, while physiology is the scientific study of blank. So the answer to this would be C, the body structures, the chemistry and physics. So it would be anatomy is the scientific study of the body structures, while physiology is the scientific study of the chemistry and physics of the body structures and how they work together. Obviously, it's up to the teacher if, a student gives a correct answer, but not like textbook specific, if they want to give the points. That's completely up to the teacher, or whoever is the boss of the game, or whoever's running the game, and whoever's conducting the slideshow gets to decide if the answer given is worth the points or not. So then the correct answer, once you click, the correct answer would be shown at the bottom of the screen. So that's how each slide works. And then I'm just going to exit out now, so that way you'll be able to see my face. But that's how each of the slides works. Once you click after the students have answered, then the correct answer will show at the bottom. All right, so I'm just going to exit out of that so that way you can see my face while I give the rest of the presentation. So this question says, if I laid down on my back and my palms were facing up, what position would I be lying in? So the answer would be A, anterior or ventral. And then again, on each of these slides, the bottom of the slide would be blank until you clicked on it. So that way the students wouldn't see the correct answer until they had already provided their answers. So this is like a bonus question because it's more difficult, so it's worth more points. The part 1 is to name anatomy's 2 areas of specialization. Part 2 is to name the 2 general approaches to the study of the body structures. The correct answer is given at the bottom. So the answer to part 1 would be gross anatomy. And then I also put that macroscopic anatomy is acceptable in place of gross anatomy, and microscopic anatomy. And then part 2 is regional and systemic anatomy. The next question is, blood clotting is an example of blank feedback, while sweating when our body is hot is an example of blank feedback. Both occur when our bodies attempt to maintain blank. So that would be, blood clotting is an example of positive feedback, while sweating when our body is hot is an example of negative feedback. Both occur when our bodies attempt to maintain homeostasis. And another bonus question, define homeostasis. So I put the textbook definition that it is the state of steady internal conditions maintained by living things, but obviously there's a variety of different ways that the student could phrase that. So it's up to you if you want to give them the points or not. The next question is, what's required to sustain human life? So the correct answer would be D, oxygen, nutrients, a narrow range of temperature, and of atmospheric pressure. The next one is a matching. It's an example of the matching. It's more difficult. So it's the structures of the human body. And, I already fixed this slide once because I put order the 6 levels of organization. And then I should have made it 9, order the 9. So my apologies. I'll fix it before I turn my presentation in for good. I thought I fixed all my mistakes, but I didn't. So this is match the correct type of imaging with the correct definition. So there's MRI, CT, PET scan, X-ray, and ultrasound. And then the answers are all jumbled up on the right, and the students would have to provide the correct answer to that. The next one is match the type of bonds with the correct definition. So again, it's matching. The correct answers are mixed up on the right, and then the students would have to give the correct ones. And then there's 3 parts to that question. So each part is worth 3 points for a total of 9. This would be, which plane divides the body horizontally into upper and lower portions. The correct answer is B, shown at the bottom. The next question, I put this on here because I got it wrong on the practice test, and so it actually helped me to learn pH levels more than I already knew them. So it was a good review for me. So this is, if black coffee had a pH level of 5 and lemon juice had a pH of 2, which is more acidic. So that would be the lemon juice is more acidic. And the next would be the most abundant elements in the body are hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and D, nitrogen. The next question is to identify the 3 subatomic particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons. The next is what makes a compound organic versus inorganic, and then earn 1 extra point per example of each compound. I put the textbook definition, like they contain carbon and hydrogen. Obviously, you could incorporate, you could accept an answer of, our body makes organic compounds. The inorganic compounds we have to get from elsewhere. That would be another acceptable answer. But again, it's up to you, the teacher, of what you want to accept. The next one, so on this slide, when the slide originally comes up, the bottom is blank, and then it says label each of these phases and what's occurring here. So that would be, this is what mitosis looks like and cytokinesis, and then they would have to go through and explain each stage of that process. I took the picture from the textbook and just left out all the text, so that way it's something that the students are familiar with, and obviously something that they've hopefully studied and reviewed, so it's easier than just like a random picture I got from the internet. So that's why I chose to do that. The next question is, during transcription, what would add a name pair with? So that's kind of like a trick question, because transcription, it pairs with uracil, and when it's not in that process, then it doesn't. It pairs with guanine. So that is kind of a trick question for students. The cell membrane has a lipid bilayer, which allows it to be blank to control what substances cross it. So it would be C, selectively permeable. And then I have two more. So what process uses stem cells to create a cell used for a particular function? Cell differentiation. The last one is to match each function to the correct cellular organelle. So there's nucleus, smooth ER, rough ER, Golgi apparatus, and mitochondria. All the answers are mixed up on the right, and students have to say which one goes with which. So that is the end of my slideshow, the end of my game so far. Obviously, you could add more to it or take some away if you're just looking at one chapter, or if you wanted to add more chapters to the game. If I would have had more time to make the project, ideally I would have taken a group of students and acted out the game. I thought that would be exciting, but I didn't have the time to do that this time. But it is something you can use in class to review that is a little bit different than the normal review, like a lecture style review, or just asking questions to the class. Makes it a little bit more fun, and you could even like add a prize into it. You could, bring like a little fun-sized candy bars for everybody, for the winners or something like that. Or it could just be bragging rights like the Jeopardy game was. But I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you very much.